Yo.
Hey, what's going on, Huddlers? It's your guys, Nix and Masai with Deep in the Huddle, Season 1.
Episode 8. Yeah.
Man, I'd like to ask everybody, are you a little football hungover after that wild night last night? Or night before last, I guess. We'll be getting this on Wednesday.
Have you recovered?
Hey, man, I didn't drink anything of the adult variety.
Yeah.
And, man, look, I actually commented this on there at the end of the game, on the game thread. I was like, man, I need to go outside and get a smoke.
Right.
Man.
It was that kind of game.
It was like 4 games in one.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. Amazing to see. Not even just in the chat last night. Shout out to all the huddlers that showed up in the game thread last night, man. It was super lit. But,
it was lit.
Just the amount of people screaming, "We want overtime!"
All right.
Not even just in our thread, but social media. Everybody
in general,
was like, "We want overtime!" So
somebody hit the Buffalo Wild Wings button.
Exactly.
Man, it was crazy. How was your weekend, though, man?
Lovely. I am fully immersed in Madden challenges as we speak, and it will only get worse. Thanksgiving Day, when they launched the Blitz promo, where you have challenges every 4 hours. So, yeah, there'll be a couple of 4 o'clock mornings for me coming up in my future.
Man, Godspeed with that.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed the football Sunday. For me, got the sick kiddo. Had to spend some time with her at the ER and see our regular doctor, trying to get her back on her feet.
Yeah.
So little ups and downs, and getting the stores ready for these holiday shoppers coming up here this week.
Sheesh.
Yeah,
it's
go time. It is go time. For those that are in retail, Godspeed. We know retail hell is about to be upon us.
Yes, and also forget all that. Time to make the donuts.
Man, that part. That part. Speaking of making the donuts, whoa, we had some games this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We had some separation this weekend.
Had some more separation. Had some head scratchers, some stunners.
Yeah. Man, I tell you what, this league, just when you think you got things figured out, just when, she will go and turn everything upside down.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Man,
first down.
Off the rip. Titans, Colts.
Yeah.
Colts wasn't having it. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed up, continued that trend of not letting Andrew Luck get touched.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're 5 games straight with or 5 starts straight with no sacks.
Mm-hmm.
The only longer streak of quarterbacks without a sack in the last 15 seasons. And it's kind of crazy to think when I give you this name, because we remember this guy being such a warrior and playing through injuries, but Steve McNair.
Yeah.
R.I.P. But, he had a streak of 6 straight sackless games back in 2006. Mm-hmm. I think some of this, to me, I don't know about you, the game wasn't completely out of hand. It was trending that way before Mariota went out.
Yeah.
And then once he went out, I saw the air come out of the balloon. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of things. Definitely a couple of things that happened in that game. It was a tough set of circumstances to hit the Titans. QB goes down early. He's experiencing nerve damage effects. It's the ulnar nerve. It's kind of like a nerve that runs across the elbow and the forearm. And when you're a QB and you're trying to grip the ball, it's kind of hard to determine, velocity and all those other things, touch, when you're trying to throw the ball and you have no feeling at the end of your hands. So Vrabel came out and said it was the result of a stinger. I don't know if that's just I don't know if that's a ruse. They're trying to say that so they don't, try to, disclose exactly what the injury is. But that's what Vrabel's saying. Also, the defensive coordinator, Dean Pease, he had a medical issue. I won't speculate on what that is, but I hope he's going to recover. Vrabel says all reports on his recovery are positive. And I mean, really, the Titans were reeling. They were trailing the Colts 24-0 with 2:29 left in the first half. Colts had an 85-yard TD drive, and by the end of the half, First half, Indy had 246 yards to the Titans 78. The league's top scoring defense had only allowed more points in one game this season, and that was week 1 against the Dolphins. You know, we've said it before. This team goes as Mariota goes. And, you know, I guess you can probably add to that their defensive coordinator. You know, Titans are trending down. I fully believe their season ended at the end of the first half of this game.
Man, I mean, 2 really good wins for them.
Yeah.
You know, going, you know, and then, you know, they have this happen. I don't if Mariota's not going to be 100, then definitely they're not going anywhere. I mean, that's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I mean, he was still 10-13. You know, I know I've spoken about it a lot. I know you kind of agree with this sentiment as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Deion Lewis gets 10 carries for 24 yards. Derrick Henry, 9 for 46, averaging 5.1. A conundrum still for me as to why they just decide not to give Henry the ball more than what they do. Colts, once again, finding the running game. Kind of came from a little bit of everybody, whether it was Wilkins, Hines, or Mack. Mack was the lead dog. But still, you had over 20 carries, 115 yards. Andrew Luck, by the way, 23 of 29 for 297, 3 touchdowns, no INTs.
Andrew Luck getting healthy, ain't he?
Man, well, you know, it's amazing when you're not getting touched up what you can do. You get a little comfortable back there, you know, make you a little popcorn, you know, drink you a soda, survey that field, and, you know, just go ahead and get it on out.
Might say the same thing about this next game we're going to talk about.
Very true. Also, shout out to that guy Leonard at linebacker for them.
Yeah.
The season he's having and continues to have. Another 5 solos, sack, interception. This is kind of becoming on repeat for him.
Yeah.
It's kind of becoming on repeat for him.
Yeah, definitely a showdown between 2 teams, and I mean the Colts have definitely pulled ahead. I mean,
yeah, even though, you know, albeit they both sit at 5-5,
right.
they're one seems to be trending one direction. Even though Tennessee, you know, granted they won 2 straight before this loss, you know, I hate to say that they're done and they're trending down, but it goes back to the arm of Mariota. If he's not going to be able to be healthy,
right,
there's not going to be much hope for them going forward.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Bucks, Giants.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, I remember vividly you telling me that's it. We will not see Mariota anymore. Oh, but old Derek Cutter, he just don't care.
Oh, Jameis Winston. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I think I kind of alluded to it the week before in one of our casts. Well, first of all, I expected this game to be a shootout. For me, it wasn't a matter of if, but when Jameis was going to replace Fitzpatrick. And that was simply off of I think what I mentioned last week or the week prior was, I don't think the coach knew. Remember how long it took him to announce who the starter was? Like, I don't think that the coach was confident enough of who he was going to start. And strangely enough, you know, after the game, here comes the quote from Cutter. They asked him how close he came to starting Winston Sunday. And this, I think, was out of the Tampa Bay Times. He said, yeah, close. I've been telling you all along Jameis's day was going to come back, Cutter said. That's water under the bridge right now. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyhow, the stats, I mean, Fitzpatrick, 13-21, 167 yards, 0 TDs, 3 picks. He rushed for a TD. Jameis comes in, you know, Giants kind of had the game in hand. Jameis comes in, 12 for 16, 199 yards, 2 TDs, 1 pick. I mean, the first TD that happened, I mean, he fumbled in the end zone and Mike Evans kind of fell on it. So, you know, the football gods blessed him. Then, you know, Peyton Barber had a very good game, had a strong game for them. Evans was back. He was strong. 6 catches, 120 yards, 1 TD. Probably should have had more. And then you flip to the other side. Eli Manning, you know, Giants O-line was gelling. Gave Eli some time to make plays. Jamon Brown at right guard.
Hey, don't you skip over Eli.
Hey,
Hold on.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Jamon Brown at right guard. This guy needs to be signed sooner than later. Drafted out of Louisville, was a starter for the Rams, violated the league substance abuse policy, suspended for 2 games. Guy that sat in his spot for 2 games took his spot. He's no scrub. He makes the New York Giants O-line better. He's young. He's only 25. Need to sign him now before you have to go looking for another one. Eli Manning, 17 of 18, 231 yards, 2 TDs, 0 picks. I'll say it again, 17 of 18. Only 1 incompletion. 231 yards, 2 TDs, 0 picks, and that would make him, say it again?
Efficient.
Yeah. And this is the thing about it is, right, is you see these 2 teams and the score, and you're like, to me, I just wasn't hung up on it. Like, OBJ had a touchdown. I can't downplay how much of an infusion Corey Coleman has been playing a part in field position in the return game for the last couple of games for the Giants. I look to see him getting more snaps in the offense. Defense on both sides, mental lapses, man, penalties, dumb things happening. Olivier Vernon with 3 penalties in a row on one series, 2 neutral zone infractions in a row in those first 3. Like, really? Getting beat or out of position on some plays. Lots of alignment issues for Tampa. Their defense, lazy tackling, overall performance, and the head coaches, they're trending in different directions. Just one game, you know what I mean? Like, when the Giants go up against a better defense and win, I'll heap praise on them. At this pace, the Bucs may get the coin flip with Arizona and San Francisco.
Yeah, both now it's sitting at 3-7. Winston came in. I think by the time he came in, it was like 31-14, I think, is whenever he got into the game.
Yeah.
12 of 16 for 199 and 2 touchdowns. I believe Barber was a season high, like you mentioned, on the 106, but that boy Saquon 8. 27 carries for that 142 and 2 touchdowns. That guy was eating. They got him the ball. You hear me?
Yeah.
Forget trending in the right directions. The Giants getting 2 straight. Cutter's a dead man walking. Cue the dong. It's a wrap. You can't decide who you want as quarterback. Nobody apparently over there in their whole organization. At the end of the day, the way he has yo-yoed these quarterbacks, GM needs to step in. Hey, play this guy. We're through with this. Somebody in there needs to step in. Or just go ahead and get him out of the way.
And this is where sometimes you see the separation of lines between the GM and the head coach, where normally they work in unison. And then all of a sudden, as things start to unfold and it starts getting ugly, the GM will start to distance themselves from the coach. And then I can bet that there's going to be probably some back and forth and some chatter about how the 2 of them weren't on the same page come the offseason as we look to see what moves are going to be made. I bet the coach is gone and the GM probably still hangs out for another year.
We'll see.
Yep.
We'll see. Now over to Duval. We had a nail biter. Steelers visited the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Jacksonville up 16-0 for the majority of the game.
Dude, this game, Jacksonville was leading 9-0 halfway through the 3rd quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Got up to 16-0. Pittsburgh kind of picked and prodded, and old Big Ben literally laid over the goal line there with about 3-4 seconds left to put them up finally all the way. Ben not as great as at the office, 27 of 47 for 314, 2 touchdowns and 3. That's right, 1, 2, 3 INTs.
Ugly game.
Yeah,
game.
Not the best day for James Conner either.
Nope.
9 carries for 25 yards. Mm-hmm. Antonio Brown, Juju, over 100 yards each. Jacksonville, on the other hand, definitely got Fournette the ball. They made sure Blake wasn't going to have to do too much. And I say Fournette got the ball, but so did Hyde.
Yeah.
So did Yeldon.
Yeah, everybody ran.
Yeah. Bortles 10 of 18 for 104. Fournette 28 for 95. Hyde 8 for 44. Yeldon 5 for 23. It was literally 2 yards in a cloud of dust for them on offense. Ramsey gets 2 interceptions, a key one in the end zone.
Yeah. And both of those balls were intended for AB.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very critical.
Amid the rumors coming out talking about Jacksonville, looking to maybe possibly trade him.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying the game that he had as that was circling.
Yeah.
Maybe a gentle reminder of who he is to them.
Led the way in tackles.
So
for that team.
We already know where Jacksonville's treading. They're 3-7 now. Yep. Pittsburgh improves to 7-2-1.
Yep.
First in their division.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be intrigued to see if this coach makes it into next season or is the head coach next year for Jacksonville.
Yeah. Roethlisberger, I think the quote was, he was motivated by a Jaguars defender, reminding him of all the interceptions that he had thrown. Big Ben has thrown 10 picks against the Jags in his last 3 meetings. It's an ugly win for Pitt, man. However, like you said, the Steelers are 7-2-1, but it's their 6th straight win. They lead the AFC North by 2.5 games, and they hold the lead for the number 2 seed in the AFC, and the first round bye, of course, will come with that. But their upcoming schedule's a bit rough. They're at Denver, home versus the Chargers, at Oakland, home against New England, at the Saints, close out the season at home versus Cincinnati. So, it ain't all sealed up, but they're going to need to be real diligent over these next games.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt. Now, the thriller, another thriller is going to be kind of the theme here for some of these games. Carolina went to Detroit.
Riverboat Ron strikes again.
Yeah, 20-19. They take the L. The interesting thing about that was little time left on the clock. They went for 2 in the win.
Yeah.
And I tell you, Cam had kind of all day in that pocket. He did definitely have a guy wide open in front of him, and, man, he just sailed the ball, unfortunately. Outside of that, hell of a day for Cam. 25 of 37 for 357, 3 touchdowns and 1 pick. Of course, Gano was having issues kicking the ball. He missed the extra point, or missed a field goal. Looked like he might have been a little, I saw him stretching, maybe a little hurt on the sidelines.
Yeah.
McCaffrey, 13 carries for 53 yards.
Yeah.
Another 6 catches for 57. And then DJ Moore, the Rook, my pet cat, 7 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown, showing up and showing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lions, again, they kind of found the running game with Kerryon Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's got cleat marks all over the Carolina defense uniforms.
Yeah, 15 of 87 for that's a 5.8 average and a touchdown. Bradford, not a ton of yards, especially considering he completed 23 of 30 out of 37, 220 and a touchdown. Kenny Golladay had himself a game, though. 8 catches, 113 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I guess practicing in the snow did okay for them. Guess that worked.
Boy, the stuff that you hang on, my goodness. Let me tell you what, man, and this is a theme. It'll come up later as we talk about these games, move through these results. You spoke about McCaffrey, over 100 yards total rushing and passing, but he has 0 TDs. That's probably a bad formula for Carolina trying to win the game. Okay? Again, the poor defense by Carolina. Kerryon Johnson just mashed on him. Okay? I don't know where Dante Jackson went since the game against the Bucs, and he had Mike Evans locked down. He only had 1 tackle for the game, the Rook at LSU. And strangely enough, only 3 penalty flags for the entire game. 3. Weird.
Clean.
Yeah, weird. And this Carolina defense, and this is something we started talking about early in the season. Execution, man. this defense, you got to watch. It ain't just Carolina. There's a lot of teams like this. I mean, we can go back to the Tampa Giants game. Man, you see a guy and he's in the flat. And, he missed a tackle. Then you see like the change of speed. And then he misses. No, the next defender misses a tackle. And everybody's just assuming, that somebody's down before they're down type of stuff. And you got to go ahead and you got to play like to the whistle. Wrap guys up, put them down. Let the refs blow the whistle to let you know that the play's over. Play it clean, but you need to make sure you execute on tackling because that's where some of these games break out. It's where they're gone. That's where the difference is in field position. All the inches around us type things. Like, you can't let things like that happen. And if this is the kind of defense they're playing at this juncture of the season, man, if they happen to sneak into the playoffs, because, look, if I look at the playoff picture now, it's the Saints, Rams, Bears, Redskins, Panthers, Vikings. Man, you keep playing like this and you keep notching these stupid L's like this, you can be hovering around wild card status, maybe not even make it in. So,
yeah,
Carolina got to straighten it out, bro.
I hear you there. At the end of the day, in this day and age in the league, could they tackle better? Yeah. I was speaking about that last week, just how atrocious the tackling was last week, league wide, not just them, just league wide.
Right.
But if you give up 20 points, Cam's got to go get you more than 20. At the end of the day, if you hold a team to 20 points, theoretically you should win 20 or less. Now, once you get over 20, that's a little bit different. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the defense could have picked them up there on the road and made some tackles that they missed. Mm-hmm. But come on, man. The lines and where they've been trending, what's going on and practicing in the snow.
Yeah.
You got to get the job done.
Normally I would disagree with you, but Cam's a different kind of QB.
Right.
We seen he took a hit in that game that should have been called. But he chopped at the back of his knee. Now I know they sent the tape to the league or whatever to review. And we've had this conversation over the last few years or whatever, probably pretty much going back to the Super Bowl that they lost against Denver. This has been going on for years with the way they officiate with Cam getting hit. It's almost like how LeBron is, in the NBA, he can take it. Man.
6'5", he's big.
Yeah, this is the same game, for everybody else. At the same time, though, Cam's a different type of QB. Bro, you got to get that. You got to move that. You got and again, maybe involving McCaffrey a little bit differently in the game or injecting him in certain parts of the game so that you keep moving the chains. Maybe you don't deal with that. Also, going for two when you could tie the game up and then take your chances in OT, that doesn't help. You know what I mean? They missed kickers out here missing field goals. That don't help either. So
yeah, it definitely adds up.
Yeah,
definitely adds up.
No doubt.
On to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Cowboys visit the Falcons. Mm-hmm. Cowboys get a win. 22 to 19.
Speak on it. Mm-hmm.
Falcons were reeling, coming off of the loss from the Browns on the road. And, you can look at the numbers. They're a different animal at home than they are on the road. Mm-hmm. And, give it up for the Cowboys defense. They've been coming on and playing well for the most part of this year. Mm-hmm. And definitely played very well. Dallas's offense, once again, figuring it out. Hey, that guy Ezekiel Elliott, he's pretty good. Offense works pretty good when he gets the ball. He got the ball 23 times for 122 yards and a touchdown. Oh, and by the way, here's 7 catches for 79 yards, more than 200 yards from scrimmage. Typically, things happen in the positive manner for you when you get him the ball. Late, had to get a score. Mm-hmm. That gets them down there, and they're able to get the field goal to get the win late. Matt Ryan, 24-34, 291. You held that guy at home with those weapons under 300 yards passing, says a lot. But when you're running the ball, you don't have the ball as much. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Julio gets him a touchdown for the 3rd straight game now. 6 catches, 118 yards. Mm-hmm. Running game for them. Coleman gets 8 carries for 58 yards. Ito Smith was not getting it done with 6 carries for 10 yards. Man, it was 6-3 at the half. Falcons were up, and Dallas just stuck to the run. And that's what we always talk about when it comes to the Cowboys in the second half. Is Linehan going to stick to the run? And the past 2 games, he's definitely done that, and he's gotten more work in the second half than he has all year. The last 2 games, Dallas wins 2 straight, 5-5, with the Thursday matchup at home on Turkey Day for first place against the Redskins. Probably wouldn't expect that after the Titans game, but boy, this NFL, it's week to week, right? You just never really know.
Nope.
And now it's all in front of them. Even with, we'll get to the Alex Smith injury and what happened there. So, man, what do we think? Is it? I mean, the Falcons are done. I mean, now you're 4-6 in that division with a loss to the Cowboys. I don't see the way of them climbing into the playoff picture. And a myriad of things. We can talk about the injuries on defense they've had. We can talk about Freeman, who basically was there week 1 and has been gone for the rest of the year, a running back for them. But, again, do we buy in the Cowboys now all of a sudden? You've figured something out. I mean, now we know, and we've looked at like 3rd down conversions and stuff since the Cooper trade. Then you're 2-1 with Cooper. Even though Cooper's not putting up numbers, we know it's loosening up things for the offense some. I mean, sustainable? I don't know. To me, I've said it earlier in the year, and it's awesome. We won 2 games, and hey, it's the first time we've scored 20 or more points for the Cowboys in back-to-back games in like 2 years. Man, it still smells like 8-8, and depending on how you feel, Cowboys fans, that's quite possibly good enough to get you into the playoffs, and that's quite possibly good enough to get Jason Garrett another year or 2 in Dallas.
Well, I normally don't speak on things named Cowboys on this podcast. I leave that to you. But I will mention them here. When I look at the playoff picture, we'll go back to the last game. When I look at the playoff picture, again, Saints, Rams, Bears. On the NFC side, this is Saints, Bears, Rams, or Saints, Rams, Bears, Redskins, Panthers, Vikings. And then I look at the teams that are in the hunt. Seahawks, Cowboys, Packers, Falcons, Lions, Eagles. Now, let's take a look at the first 6, okay? Well, Minnesota look to you like they're going to hold on to stay in the playoff picture? How about Carolina? All the injuries over in Washington. You think that's a go for the for postseason? Right. I could literally see all 3 of them, specifically Minnesota and Carolina, Minnesota and Washington, falling right on out of it. And then that leaves rooms for the teams in the hunt. Now, you say Cowboys. I say Cowboys. Seahawks, yeah. The Packers giving you anything to feel on them going forward in the postseason?
Man, I mean,
how about the Falcons? I mean, you just said the Falcons. Nah.
I think the Falcons are done.
Right.
Yeah.
How about
back-to-back.
How about the practicing in the snow Detroit like it don't snow in Detroit?
Nah. Well,
how about Philly? There's another one. You said it was done.
Now they're done.
Okay, so yeah, I could see Dallas in there for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
But like I said, that goes back to for better or worse, because that's probably going to extend out Jason Garrett for those that are ready to move on for him. Now we'll see. It still has to play out. I mean, one of the things that I heard from Stephen Jones this week said they need to be more creative in getting Cooper the ball. So there's something a little there bubbling still as it pertains to that.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'll continue to eat this crow. Leighton Vander Esch. Hey, I should always remember this, and my hashtag for years has been "In Willie I Trust," and I doubted this year. I doubted somewhat because I wanted to go with maybe Mr. Moore over there, the wide receiver from Maryland and Carolina.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
Yeah, Another intercept. And how funny, right? Because a lot of people wanted Ridley. For me, I didn't want Ridley because I didn't think he would fit with us. Not that he wasn't going to be good in the league or anything. I didn't think he was going to be very good for the Cowboys. They were constituted.
Hey.
And I was just saying,
I'm going to interrupt you. I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Uh-huh.
Could you imagine if you had Ridley and then you went and got Amari?
Oh, yeah. I mean, now that changes things, though. Yeah, see, now that changes things.
Yeah.
Because you got somebody on the outside that takes some of that heat. But
you want to talk about things you don't want to look forward to in the NFC East.
Yeah, but Leighton Vander Esch gets a pick that goes off of Ridley's hands. Another 8 tackles for him. So, yeah, I mean, the defense is definitely trending. Offenses magically seem to find out we need to get Ezekiel Elliott the ball, and that seems to be working. And
it's a theme as we go through these games.
It's a theme. I mean, in all these games, nip and tuck this week, man. We had 9 games decided by 3 points or less in a multitude of the 1-point variety. Mm-hmm. On to Bengals, Ravens, where the last of the 5 first-round draft picked quarterbacks got to start. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Lots of rushing attempts by the kid. I mean, he can't sustain that type of output.
No, he's not built like that.
It would be detrimental to him and the Ravens. Baltimore gets the win, and Flacco was injured. I mean, telling quote from wide receiver Willie Snead. I think everybody was ready to see Lamar. We're just looking for an edge at some point. And you could see there was at one point when Lamar walked onto the field, there was a resounding cheer in the stadium. Like, people were like losing it, banging their hands all over the stands and stuff. And basically, I mean, we can go back to Friday. I mean, like the movie Friday. Lamar Jackson basically got Flacco fired on his day off. I mean, that's pretty much what just happened in this game.
Oh God! Oh, okay.
So this game was kind of dry, but back to what I was just talking about. It's almost like both of the teams kind of took the game off to see the debut of Lamar Jackson as a starter. It's like they were waiting to see what this kid could do. And
right.
Unfortunately for Cincinnati, they waited long enough to watch him win.
Did you catch the look of
Oh yeah,
Flacco on the bench?
Got fired on his day off. That was the look.
That look was just
fired on your day off.
Man, that look was just like, oh my! I was looking. I was like, I mean, dude was, you could tell, was not having a good time. And definitely didn't want to be there.
Brother, he was making a mental list of things to do on how to move out of Maryland, Baltimore. You know, how many boxes he had to pack, calling the movers. You know, what team, what teams he wants to get traded to when he talks to his agent. Yeah, he was making all that. How's he going to tell his wife? Yeah.
But for what it's worth, obviously, Baltimore gets the win 24-21, getting to 5-5, same as the Bengals.
Yeah.
Lamar went 13-19 for 150 yards, 0 TDs, 1 INT. Mm-hmm. Back to the rushing attempts. 27 for 117.
Yeah, it ain't going to happen like that again, though.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. Gus Edwards also chipped in with 17 carries for 115 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, anytime the Bengals' leading rusher is going to be Andy Dalton with 2 carries for 29 yards, you're probably not going to win. Let's just be clear.
It's a thing.
Baltimore's defensive front just completely shut down Joe Mixon, 12 carries for 14 yards and 1 touchdown. And he did take care of the ball, 19-36 for 211, 2 TDs, no picks. But, no A.J. Green on the outside.
Right.
They've lost their top 2 tight ends. Tough sledding them offensively. Bengals started out so hot and kind of looked like, they kind of found their way again, and they just kind of found a way to get back to 500 or fall back to 500, I should say.
Yeah.
Also, with Lamar Jackson starting, believe the line is first time in NFL history, 5 first-round draft picks all started a game in one season. or in their rookie year. So it was a hell of a draft for rookie quarterbacks, it seems.
Yeah.
On to a little 2-point game. The Houston Texans traveled to Washington to face the Redskins. And obviously the story of this game and all the parallels that there are, the 33 years to the day, Joe Theismann in the building, the same score. It happened against there's only been 2 3-time defensive players of the year, and both of these guys were in the mix when it came to sack and D-set quarterbacks. Terrible compound fracture, for those that don't know, means the bone broke the skin.
Yeah.
Immediate surgery for Alex Smith.
Yep.
With his age and everything.
Full recovery, though.
It's going to be long. Full recovery, yes. NFL back. I mean, medicine's came a long way. I'll just have to say, wait and see on that.
Nah, he'll make it back. Now, whether they decide to move on without him while they're telling him all the right things and nice things at this point, in the season is another.
Right. Yeah. With that being said, before the game, I mean, Houston was giving it to him, though. I mean, he was 12 of 27 for 135 and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Including, he threw the nice 101-yard pick six to the rook on the other side.
How about the run game? Tell me about that.
I'm about to get to it. I mean, Peterson didn't have a bad game, but not great. 16 to 51 for 3.2 and 2 touchdowns. Now, here's a nice one. Colt McCoy had 5 carries for 35 yards, and Alex Smith before breaking the leg had 4 carries for 33 yards.
Yes.
Interesting note. It's the first time that's happened since.
Say it.
Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick did it back in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, okay, 2 quarterbacks over 30 yards.
That guy.
Now, Colt came in and was throwing it around, 6 of 12 for 54 yards and a touchdown. I mean, got him 2 drives and got him, kind of back in it, but just couldn't nail the long field goal there at the end to get the win. So Texas get to 7-3 as the Skins fall to 6-4.
Yeah, this game, man. I mean, we'd be remiss if I didn't touch on a couple things here, like people need to remember. I mean, it wasn't a good day for either QB. Obviously what happened to Alex Smith, Deshaun Watson, it wasn't the greatest game for him either. Rushing was abysmal, but Houston, look, teams and their coaches must forget the D-line / front 7 personnel that Houston possesses. I mean, you got Clowney, Watt, McKinney, Merciless, Jonathan, Joseph, in the secondary, Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, and both them dudes have basically got, a buzzer with a turbo button strapped to their back. And it makes them blitz the QB whenever the defensive coordinator calls their number. And going forward, they got their QB situation pretty much resolved. But going forward, this team's going to be dangerous. I don't know if the head coach is going to remain the same, but this team is going to be real dangerous. Now,
hey, man, I told you.
For the Redskins, they're in danger. I mean, they just signed Mark Sanchez. They better pray they don't have to break that glass in case of emergency. Colt McCoy better bring it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, whenever Houston made the trade for, even though he had 0 catches for Demaryius Thomas, I just felt like the way they were trending, they were going to run away and hide with this division. Big game this week against the Titans, obviously. But they were able to run the ball, though. And against that Redskins front is very impressive. They were able to do it better than Washington was against that impressive Houston front. Yeah. Lamar Miller, 20 carries for 86 yards, 4.3. Yeah. Alfred Blue chipped in another 8 carries for 46 yards. That's 5.8. Yeah. Man, I'm with you. I completely co-sign. I said after the trade deadline, I thought Houston was winners in the trade deadline, and I think they're going to run away with the division. One of those on-the-road, tough, hard-fought games, able to get the win.
What is that? Ain't that their 7th in a row?
7th in a row. Yeah. First team ever in NFL history to start 0-3, then win 7 straight.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was the 6th or the 7th, but I know it was on
7th,
the streak.
Yeah. NFL record, 0-3, 7 straight. Skins. Now, I will say this.
That defense.
I will say this.
When they get healthy, man.
I will say this. Hey, and by the way, that trade they made for HaHa.
Yeah, 11 the way in tackles, buddy.
Yeah, 11 solo, 2 assists. Colt McCoy, when he's had time to play, I mean, people forget whenever he was in Cleveland and when Cleveland didn't have all the talent that they have now. I mean, we can talk about the record or whatever, but I mean, back-to-back weeks, he beat Tom Brady and Big Ben, okay? We've seen him come in when somebody got hurt in Dallas, when Roma gets knocked out, whatever, and, he wins that game. So, I mean, the one thing I will say.
He's a gamer, man.
Colt McCoy's a gamer.
Hey, and look, he's still young, in this league. Number one.
He's only been in the league 8 years.
Yeah,
He's
only been in the league 8 years. And let's, something that, and I don't know if it's age or something, just to make a statement here, especially with this game, let us not forget, about people, especially when they sit on the bench or their second or their third string. Let us not forget this kid at Texas.
Yeah. Let
us not forget. Okay? Now, a lot of people will go, he got knocked out. You know what I mean? In the championship game, blah, blah. Yeah, but remember what he did to take him there and the years prior. That kid, not a joke. And I always thought that he would get a shot. He hasn't. But okay. Hey, man, this might be his shot. Maybe Washington doesn't go draft a QB in this draft. This might be his shot.
Hey, man. Hey, it's all about opportunity and seizing the moment. I mean, it's in front of him. At the end of the day, he's taking over for a team that currently is in first place, and it gets no hotter than this week because whoever wins this game Thursday will be in first place and kind of more or less with a two-game lead or 1.5 game lead because you got the head-to-head. Really, for the Skins who've already beat the Cowboys, they win that one. It's going to be super hard to see the Cowboys get in the division then. So, I'm interested to see Colt McCoy going forward. And, like I said, he's got the rest of the year to audition and see what happens for him. Yeah, and no doubt. Onto a reoccurring theme of 23-21, same score in this game.
I only have 2 things to say about this game.
Okay, but the Raiders get a win.
My bad. Yes. I didn't mean to cut that off.
Yes, they get the win.
I apologize. Yeah,
they go to Arizona.
Yeah, let me say my 2 things. You can go with that.
All right.
Thing number 1, Raiders with a W.
Yeah.
Thing number 2,
baby.
Keep them coming. All right, go ahead.
Arizona 2-8, Raiders 2-8.
Yeah. Go Raiders.
Derek Carr 19-31, 192, 2 touchdowns, and one very heated exchange with John Gruden on the sideline. Don't know what was said. Have no clue.
Yeah.
Here's what I do know, Tampa Bay Bucs fans. As crazy as you might think the Raiders might be with John Gruden and what he's got going, he hasn't benched his quarterback. And y'all seem to bench your quarterback every other week. So,
tell them.
Maybe take some notes from old Chucky, your former coach there. Pick one and stick with it.
Hey, they starting Jameis again, too, coming up. They already announced it.
Yeah. Hey, and I'm sure by the fourth quarter, Ryan Fitzpatrick will be back in.
Yeah. I just want him gone. I don't want to hear about nobody talking about him no more. Let that kid go have a chance.
Yeah, I hear you. Ugly day for Josh Rosen. Man, this was ugly.
Yeah.
This was super ugly. 9 for 20, 136, somehow 3 touchdowns in that, but 2 interceptions. David Johnson getting back to form, though. We've kind of seen this thing trending with him. 25 carries, 137 yards. But, yeah, both teams looking to pick top 5. Obviously, for Giants fans, Messiah. More wins for them, so he can get his guy. But I'll be intrigued to see if this Carr Chucky thing, keeps moving forward and what keeps happening there.
I'm sure that we're going to hear plenty.
Yeah, indeed. And, well, here's another 23, but not 21. 23-22, Broncos go into Los Angeles and beat the Chargers.
Hey, pretty sure lots of people had the Chargers pegged to win this game. Yeah, nah. See, divisional bedlam. Yeah, it strikes again. Just when you're streaking and you're quietly asserting your role in playoff contention, because, nobody was talking about the Chargers. there comes a divisional opponent to upset the whole apple cart. Mm-hmm. You got Phillip Rivers, big numbers. Same story as Carolina with McCaffrey. Melvin Gordon, 18 carries, 69 yards, 6 catches, 87 yards,
Goose
0 TDs. Again, not a good formula. It's a theme.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for sure, Rivers, 28-43, like you said, 401, 2 touchdowns, but 2 costly interceptions. Mm-hmm. Very costly. That rookie, Phil Lindsay, the undrafted one, 11 carries, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. Chipped in with 4 catches for 27, but he got a couple of touchdowns. Yeah, I mean, divisional games, man, I don't care where you're at on the totem pole, man, you just can't take them lightly. You know, you just can't. And not to say that San Diego did. I keep calling them San Diego till they're in the playoffs. I know I'm going to change that one day. But yeah, Broncos definitely shut it down. Scratch back in the fourth quarter to score 9 and get the dub on them. Good to see Bosa back. Obviously, that's something that's going to be probably trending in the right direction the more he gets healthy. 7-3 for the Chargers, still second in the division. VJ with the circling of maybe a Harbaugh and, maybe them regurgitating. Well, I don't want to say regurgitating. What's a good term for this coach who's been there and gone and resurrecting former head coach for the OC job?
Sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, with all that swirling around, gets his team to go on the road and get a win. It gets them to 4-6. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a show.
Hey, man. Hey, divisional bedlam.
Oh, man.
Crazy.
And, and let's go down there to the NO. Let's take it down to the Bourbon Street. Mm-hmm. Let me stretch real quick. Pop these knuckles.
Yeah.
Y'all can go ahead and put a fork in Philly. They take the L, 7-48 to the Saints. And it just wasn't pretty on any front. Okay, Saints are going to score points. That's fine. All right. And they did. They scored 24 in the first half. You made a trade, though. Let's go back. Remember we talked about that trade, no trade deadline, winners, losers. And you made a trade. You made a trade is what y'all did. Y'all went and traded a third-round pick for Golden Tate. Not a running back, Golden Tate. How's that working out for them? Because I heard a lot of people say, oh, well, Philly won that. Philly won the trade versus Dallas. Dallas gave up that. And then look what they gave up. Yeah.
How's that working out for Golden Tate? Jeez.
Well, hey, against Dallas, he had 2 catches for 18 yards, I think. Yeah. So what did he do this week? Hey, 5 catches for 48 yards. And I guess maybe you need a running back because you decided to run the ball with him, too, for -8 yards.
Yeah, bet he wishes he was still practicing in the snow in Detroit.
Oh, look at you. Look at you. I mean, Carson Wentz, 19 of 33, 156, 3 interceptions. Not pretty. We've talked about on this show the rushing back of him. Granted, we would say at this point he should be healthy, but I don't know. It's, maybe we know they lost some depth, right? We know some tight ends left. We know, some they kind of changed out some parts of the defensive line, right? They got some older guys like a Bennett, and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, maybe a team that's trending in the right direction, their quarterback's not getting hit. Frank Wright was a little bit more important there for Philly than a lot of people thought.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, we kind of talked about that a little bit before we came on. With just we weren't even talking about Philly per se. We were just talking about coordinators in general. And, I think we were talking about Andy Reid and
right, the coaching tree,
people that his coaching tree and people that he's pushed out. Man, Philly. Before I get to what I need to say for this segment, to me, and you know this about me, B. You definitely know this about me. Philly talks too effing much. Okay, they've been talking too effing much all season, and let me go ahead and explain to the audience. Me and my brother Nix, we've had many a heated conversation about the Dallas Cowboys in general over the years. Okay, I don't go for all that talking. Okay, I don't care. Like, whatever y'all doing, let's get to the game. And what's our phrase, B? Hat on a hat.
Hat on a hat, baby.
Let's get down to business. We don't need to do all this yapping. I mean, yeah, we got social media and there's, media outlets everywhere ready to capture any and every quote or every moment. Ask Odell, like these type of things. We know that that's going to go on. Hey, guys, like Garrett Wesley says, our admin for Deep in the Huddle, keep all that stuff in house. Just come out and play the game, bro. That's all I want to see. And literally, Philly has been talking since they won. Look, I don't think Philly stopped talking since they had the parade for the Super Bowl after they won. Okay? They have not stopped talking. Kels ain't stopped talking. He been talking in the offseason. He been talking on radio stations. It's the Kels World Tour. Okay? They talked all the way up until they faced y'all. They've been talking all season. And I heard one of their players in a quote say, it's not hard to figure out what's going on. You get out what you put in. Just look at the film. Look, man, Philly, lots of injuries, not a lot of confidence. Panic button has been pushed in my eyes. I'm not sure what the strategy is after they push the panic button. I don't know if they're going to recoup and go on a run or shut it down and, catch everybody at the draft in 2019. But the first thing they need to do is shut up. Mm-hmm. The next thing they need to do is I'll borrow a quote from their coach, like how you do. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs to look in the mirror because you're getting paid a ton of money. And I'm not the person to harp on money. Don't take this the wrong way. You're getting paid a ton of money to go out there, play a game, and y'all aren't delivering. So when guys like you and your team, because I've heard some of these statements, when y'all want to talk about the Browns or how the Patriots are run or how the Cowboys are run, hey, how's Philly running? How y'all doing? You gonna make it to the playoffs? Y'all in the bubble? Or you gonna be looking up at the team that you beat last year in the Super Bowl and the team that you was talking trash about until they came and beat you last week. Get it together. And, that's all I got to say about Philly. As far as Saints go.
Best team in the league.
Making a statement, man, not just with the win. Okay, I know you posted the other day they were making a statement. But I think that these guys are also loudly saying to the conference and to the league, this is our yard. And to some degree, if you're not getting the whole picture, that loss in the playoffs to Minnesota was a fluke. And we were supposed to be in that Super Bowl. That's the way they're playing. They're pissed off about it still, and they intend to exact revenge on all the opponents who stand in their way. Roadkill. Like I said from my first podcast, roadkill. Anybody in the NFC South, NFC West, roadkill. Period.
Yeah, they're not playing. I mean, Philly got to do something. Pick your poison. Stop something. That's all I'm going to ask.
Philly ain't got to do nothing. What you say? And I thought you were saying Philly.
Oh, no, I'm just saying, just stop something. Oh, Drew Brees is 22 of 30 for 363 and 4 touchdowns. So check. You didn't stop the pass game.
Nah, bro, can't stop nothing because you all out of gas from talking all week before you get.
Here's the running game. 16 carries for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns from Mark Ingram.
Yeah.
Kamara chips in another 13 carries for 71 yards. Mm-hmm. You got Traquan Smith, who's a rookie out here, 10 catches, 157 yards and a touchdown.
Balling on folks.
Making Michael Thomas numbers look rudimentary with just 4 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
They're already up on you. 4th and 7. And they throw a bomb for a touchdown. They made a statement, man. Like I said, they're bar none. They beat the Rams. Seeing how they're playing right now and everything. I mean, we could talk about peaking at the right times and stuff. I don't even care about any of that right now.
Yeah.
Those guys are bar none. They're number one on my list. Those guys are number one in the league. Dennis Allen, again, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. Dennis Allen and what he's done with that defense since week 1 to now, cannot be understated, the job that he's doing there in New Orleans. Back to Philly for a second before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of their fans, talk about Foles this, Foles that, and whatnot, And I remember we was going back to, putting Carson back. They're rushing Wentz back. That's panic,
we've talked
right?
about that way more off the mic than we have here.
The worst thing ever for Wentz was him to, and because it's this franchise and being, in that drought of not getting the Super Bowl, right?
Right.
For him to go down and then go win the Super Bowl and then come back and struggle with him at quarterback is like the worst thing ever for him in Philly.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, 4-6, obviously you're not out of it. If I'm the GM over there, as soon as, really we do look out of it, I'm sitting with, man, go get healthy, go get your mind right, and close the year out, go get your draft pick and come back. But remember when, first episode, y'all can dial it up. I said, hey, man, I'm not high on Philly this year.
Preseason showed you a lot.
Yeah. I'm not high on them for you added some personalities in there that wasn't a part of that underdog personality. And I was talking about the Michael Bennett's of the world and whatnot. You let LeGarrette Blount walk out that door and you didn't replace him. And we knew how J.J.'s knee was. Then you get to the trade deadline. Last year, the trade deadline, you went and got a J.J. to add to there. This year, you go get another wide receiver like that's what you needed. Just some missteps, man. And we're not going to talk about the coaches get out there and everything else, but I'm glad he's changing it from the, remember we're champions to we need to look in the mirror, and they need to definitely correct this ship this week coming up.
Yep.
Now to the Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Battle for the North. The Vikings visited the Bears. Well, somebody's defense. Well, I can take that back. I was going to say somebody's defense, but, there was moments the Minnesota defense was playing well, too, and getting some turnovers. So I don't want to completely throw them underneath the bus. Now, Minnesota ran back in it like crazy at the end, couldn't complete it. 25-20, Bears win, get to 7-3. Minnesota down to 5-4-1, second in the division now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I just couldn't run the ball, man. They just that Chicago defense was like, nah, not you, Latavius Murray, not you, Dalvin Cook. I mean, you get a total of 13 carries for 17 yards. Tough sledding. You definitely needed to be able to get some of that done. Kirk Cousins, 30 of 46 for 262, 2 touchdowns, but 2 costly interceptions.
Tell me about Mitchell.
Mitchell, 20 of 31, 165, a touchdown, and was giving them opportunities with those interceptions late. He threw 2 of them.
Yep.
But again, on the ground, there's where Mitchell kind of shined for them. 10 carries for 43 yards.
Got wheels.
Yeah, man. Jordan Howard, 18 carries for 63 yards. Tariq Cohen, 7 carries for 27 yards. Just
they let
kept pounding
go.
it. Yeah, man. Just kept pounding it, and obviously they were up 14-3 heading into the fourth quarter. And hey, man, how about the 2-point conversions? How big are those? Because Chicago was going for 2-point conversions. They got 2 of them.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference in the world when that final score is 25-20.
Hey, look, you talk about Mitchell and the picks.
Mm-hmm.
Even when the Bears offense mucks it up, they got the defense to fix it for them.
Man.
The greatest infusion ever for this season for the Bears is Khalil Mack. Hey, shout out to John Gruden over there doing what he do. The Bears, thank you. I'm pretty sure they're going to send you a couple bottles at the end of the season if they make it deep in the playoffs.
And you know what? Here's the thing about that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what they get? They get 2 first-round picks from Gruden for that, right?
Yeah.
We talk, and I don't want to kind of zone in because we always talk about,
went the other way. They gave them.
No, I'm sorry. I mean, the Bears sent
it's all right.
them.
We make mistakes here sometimes. It's okay.
But you know what? Here's the thing. We always talk about, it's educated science per se when it comes to the draft.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, what are the chances that either one of those draft picks, those 2 draft picks that they're going to get in Oakland, soon to be Vegas, is going to be anywhere near what Khalil Mack is?
Yep. like I said, two things. Like I said, you got to hit. Like you need to identify your need and forget BPA. It better be BPA for your team, and they better fit. There better not be no issues. There better not be no off the field. They better not have no injury history. They better not have nothing, because with all the money they paid you, brother, and all the moves that you made, they got this Raiders fan base in disarray. You got to hit. Second thing is, hey, you could take Khalil Mack, right, and flip it. Let's say the Bears wanted to trade Khalil Mack right now. What you think they're getting for him? 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. You see maybe the way more. That dude been balling? Hey, and look.
Maybe more.
Hey, look, yeah. I mean, I know there's more. I could have said what I wanted to say after that, but I mean, you get 2 first-round picks out the gate, right? Right, B?
Yeah.
Hey, you think Jerry ain't giving up 2 first-round picks for that? I mean, he might want to, Steven might hold him back and go, hey, look, there's other things we need to address. But you think he ain't going to give 2 first-round picks for that?
Just saying, man. Even if they hit, though, with the BPA and everything, the odds of them going to be even in the same realm as him is still low.
The funny part about this is, right, you got rid of Khalil Mack. What you think they're going to do at first? If they're not drafting a QB, they're going to get Bosa's brother.
Man, right?
They're getting Bosa's brother. What did you do? I mean, that ain't even addition by subtraction.
Yeah,
that's some whole other geometrical math you did, algebraic math.
No doubt.
No doubt. But this defense, man, I can't walk away without talking about them. There was many plays by players on that team. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you didn't know all the players on the Chicago Bears defense, after Sunday night, you knew Mac. You might have known Mac. You might have known Trevathan. Heck, you might have known Adrian Amos.
That boy, another pick.
You had Leonard. You had Hicks. You had Floyd. You had Eddie Jackson. And then to top it all off, like I said earlier in the season, this team playing like a unit. Man, pick, and then the whole defense comes to celebrate and takes like a fake photo op in the end zone. All 11 of them. Like, playing together. Happy. And Khalil Mack got them. Like, those dudes were playing good last season. Yeah. Khalil Mack just came in and just put, like, some golden frosting on top.
Sprinkle me, baby. That old E40. That old E40 track. Sprinkle me, baby.
Salt Bay. Salt Bay. Yeah. Hey, man.
Oh, man. Hey.
Chicago, buddy.
Yeah, playing good ball, man. And,
I don't care who you are, man. I don't care who you are. Chicago Bears in the playoffs, there is concern, and not just for you to move the ball down the field, but for your quarterback health. Yeah. Your quarterback's health is at risk with Khalil Mack healthy on the field. Not to mention all the other dudes roaming around, the Roquans, the Trevatans.
Man, I'll tell you, and at the end of the day, just speaking as an NFL fan, when the Bears have a good defense, the old monsters of the Midway, man, something just feels right about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, Mac out here trying to do his best Lawrence Taylor impersonation, man. Just threatening people, just intimidating.
He's getting busy.
Yeah.
Getting busy. So, Vikings definitely got to figure some things out here pretty quick. Bears definitely in the driver's seat here with 6 games to go. Now to the fireworks show of Monday Night Football.
Lord, I lost my breath when you said it.
Sheesh. I don't have the superlatives at this point anymore.
We're all out. We're
out. Hey, NFL record, obviously, for the first time, 2 teams scoring 50 points. Mm-hmm. With that being said, first time ever a team that scored 50 points is lost. There were 216 wins and 0 losses.
Yeah.
Rams get the win 54-51. And there was just, it was like 4 games in one. There was, I get it. People want to see the score all. There wasn't much defense played, but you had 8 total sacks. You had, we have 7 turnovers.
Yeah.
3 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
There was just a lot going on. The one key thing, and we'll break down some more of this in the previous show, to me, I always said, who's going to win in the trenches? I thought whoever could establish the running game consistently would be the team that walked away with it.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, there was times where Kansas City used Hunt as the cooler to, hold on for a second. But as far as like truly established running games, I don't think either team did. I mean, Gurley 12 carries for 55 yards. I mean, he was leading the league in rushing coming in. He only gets the ball 12 times. Kareem Hunt gets 14 for 70. A little bit better. But my word, what a game.
Yeah. That I think the quote I saw online was there shouldn't even be highlights from this game. Basically, ESPN should just say, if you didn't watch it, you don't deserve it. Because it was one of those games. It was must-see television.
Right.
I mean, we thought the Rams-Saints game, right?
Man.
Game of the year, right? Isn't that what we thought?
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Hey,
past tense.
Common denominator, those Rams. But hey, still,
right.
I mean, this was game of the year. I mean, I never seen so many. Look, shout out to all the huddlers in the thread last night, man. I mean, again, like, I never seen so many people, whether it was in our thread or if it was online, on social media, Twitter or whatever, like saying, give us overtime. Give us overtime. Like they wanted to see that. Monday Night Football, you screaming, give us overtime when you got to go work in the morning on Tuesday? Yeah.
Hey, it's going down.
Yeah, that was a game. But look, I know the one thing you mentioned, I mean, we were saying the same, thing, kind of like, and sometimes we do that, we'll both post, kind of like back off of each other in a few seconds, like one will post, we'll post similar things. And I mean, I didn't say it, in my post, but like, to me, I was like, run the ball. You got two of the top 5 running backs in the league, and they both get less than 20 touches. Hunt, 14 carries, 3 catches, 1 TD. Gurley, 12 carries, 3 catches, 0 TDs. And I'm going to say that again. Gurley, 12 carries, 3 catches, 0 TDs. That is not a formula to win games. Like we were saying from the top of the podcast, this is a theme. And then with these two guys, bro, both of these defenses should have been gassed from all the running and gashing that Hunt and Gurley should have been able to do to them. I mean, Hunt gets 5 to 8 more touches. Maybe Mahomes throws 1 in INT instead of 3.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't like anybody was really running away with this game.
Yeah. I mean, especially on the RPO, goes for the pick 6. I mean, if he just hands it off there, obviously there's one right there. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm there with you.
Yeah. But like, it's other than when the Rams took off on them early in the game, nobody was running away with this game once KC caught up, and this game moved on. I mean, like, coaches went in, made halftime adjustments, came back out, I see McVay running a lot of, play action screens, not a no huddle, but like a quick huddle almost.
Yeah, a little sugar huddle.
Yeah, and back out, trying to see if maybe he could gas the defense. That was, starting to pick up its play the last few weeks, but, hey. And then we get what we got, the back and forth. Rams defense just bullying people. Who's the boy? Eku.
Oh, man, don't get me started.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be Jason Witten on here.
Yeah.
Ebijaya.
I'll know it when I see it, damn it.
Just call him Samson.
Ebukam.
Yeah, just call him Samson. Samson.
We'll go with Samson.
Go with his first name. Yeah. Sam E.
Yeah. Ebukam just bullying and, like, man, I mean, there was one play, and you said it, like, where he dragged old Mahomes down on the ground. You know what I mean?
Scary moment.
In the midst of trying to go into the end zone, with a pick. Like, man, whew. Yeah, it was all. And another thing, too, watching the game, like, when either one of those QBs got hit, man, you could hear the air go out of the stadium like, please don't ruin the young talent that we have coming up. Please.
Yeah. Also, shout out to ESPN and the NFL plugging that sports bar in Mexico. Boy, they got all kinds of free promotion last night. They were plugging, but man, yeah, I mean, Definitely don't want to see neither of those guys. One guy, because we've always kind of been on the Gurley train about the engine there.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff, man, welcome to the MVP conversation.
Yes, sir.
31-49, 413, 4 touchdowns, 0 picks. You had Brandon Cooks even go out for a little bit and come back in. Cup's missing, but just spread the ball, man. Cooks 8 for 107. Josh Reynolds for 6 for 80. Robert Woods 4 for 72. Tyler Higbee 6 for 63. I mean, just the backup tight end in Everett 3 for 49. I mean, spread the ball around.
Hey, actually, I forgot to mention something when it came to running back touches. McVay came out in a quote through the LA media and said that Gurley had his ankle rolled up on early in the game, which limited him a bit. So maybe that's why.
Little decoy on him.
Yeah. So,
fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't catch that. So
yeah.
Okay. So maybe a little decoy.
Sometimes, man, when I got these notes, man, I try to I try to segment.
You got to organize. I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm scrolling like, where'd it go? Yeah. Oh, I knew I had it somewhere. Yeah, I've been there. Patrick Mahomes, 33 of 46, 478, 6 more touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the 3 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely heavy doses of Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Hill 10 for 215 and 2 touchdowns.
God bless, man.
Kelce 10 for 127 and a touchdown.
And you missed.
But Chris Conley.
Chris Conley.
Yeah, Chris Conley got in the mix a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. Made
7
some key catches.
Yeah, 7 made some key catches. 7 for 74 for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and this thing with Kelce, man, really pissed me off. Like, man,
Ooh.
They had them exploited. Kelce had them exploited the first half. Easy, man. Like, Kelce literally could have had a 15 to 20 catch, 3 TD night. That's how off they were playing of Kelce. And then you seen the one play where Peters in the third quarter or whatever batted the pass down. And that was it. It's kind of like they really didn't go to him too much more after that. But, like, even if it was, like, it was well defended. Like, man, they should have exploited that in the first half, man. This game could have went a totally different direction.
One thing I do want to bring up is that free agent that they got over there in Kansas City. The 17. I mean, he played for the Rams last year. Sammy Watkins, 1 catch, 4 yards.
Yeah,
definitely not getting the return in investment. Kansas City, that is.
No ROI.
Yeah, for what's going on with Sammy Watkins. We know he's had a history of being hurt. Okay, and I guess he's nicked up now and whatnot. But man, I just think about that money that they gave him, and imagine if they would have went and maybe got another defensive piece or two. But I mean, that's something we could talk about, more so in the offseason. Just something that I just saw. I'm like, man,
maybe, and this is something that we discussed. Maybe you shouldn't got rid of Marcus Peters because that boy came through.
Yeah, I mean, been on record about that, and we saw that embrace between him and Andy Reid, which we already knew.
And he told him, because I heard that. Like, I was trying to see if I could catch the audio, and he told him he loved him, man, and just, I'll catch up to you, Coach. I love you.
Yeah, and which we knew, that wasn't an Andy Reid thing, him getting shipped out of town.
Right, that was
I will say the one thing where I'm like, oh, man, not that was at that moment, and that's what cost the game.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill had 2 opportunities on punts to let him go in the end zone.
Yeah.
And caught them anyways. The first one I can forgive. You have the timeouts, whatever the case may be. Okay. The second one, with 1 timeout and a limited amount of time left, you have to let that bounce.
Yep.
You just have to, because you drained an extra close to 10 seconds and you didn't even get back to the 20, which
like
kind of forced.
Earlier, don't Ty Montgomery this thing.
Yeah, you didn't fumble it, but you kind of put, Patrick behind the 8 ball. The last, that very last interception, I mean, time's getting low. He's trying to make a play. I get that. That's kind of his mentality.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just Tyreek on that one right there, man. You got to let that one bounce. Just got to.
Yeah.
And give Mahomes with that one timeout, at least starting at the 25 with some more time on the clock and see what you can do.
Right. And then, like, even that, like, before that point when the Rams went ahead in the fourth quarter, you know, this is something like, this is how you know what type of QB this guy is. And, man, I'm not going to say it no more. This boy, man, I've been on this kid since his senior year of high school. Okay? We found ourselves saying things that we normally say about Brady, Breeze, Ben, Pepe, even, you know, like there was 2 minutes left. They had 2 or 3 timeouts, you know, and they get the ball back, KC. And we were all like, even like in the thread, we were all like, oh, he got plenty of time. And they had 2 or 3. He had plenty of time. Like this is this kid's second year. It's his first year as the starter.
11 games.
Yeah.
He was in his 11th game.
The legend of Patrick Mahomes, bro. That's what that is.
Hey, even with just the minute and one timeout, only need 3 points. Like, oh, he's got a timeout. He's got plenty of time.
He got plenty of time.
You know, but how about, you know, the shout out to McVay tried to Andy Reid that thing. They could have put the game away.
Yeah, tried to do some Andy Reid stuff.
Let's throw the ball and had to punt it back to them. Man, there was just so much, man. There was so much going on in that game.
What was wrong with you? And I guess maybe we should ask this question since I pulled that note out. Who's the backup running back for LA?
Malcolm Brown.
Oh,
Malcolm Brown.
Maybe we should have dialed up Malcolm on that third. I don't know.
Maybe
for the first and the second.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I mean, if it's the role and that's kind of where you want to do it, you know, or maybe you hit Brandon Cooks with a jet sweep. You know, wouldn't be the first time he's ran some of that, and see what happens there.
But I mean, if you dial up Malcolm Brown that first and second spot, hey, even if you had a punt,
right?
It's a different chess game.
All the timeouts.
It's a different chess game when you make Casey use timeouts.
Yeah, you got to bleed the timeouts. Definitely. Yeah, I'm with you there. No doubt. I'm with you there. It was, man, I tell you, it was
run the ball.
Run the ball. But yeah, man, that game was, and I kind of took a tour around just to check the temperature. And, you know, I'd said it, and then somebody else in the thread was talking about it as well. It's like, man, this is like a Big 12 game, you know. Uh-huh. And then, you know, I see some people, you know, in the Twitterverse was talking about, you know, the Big 12 gets, you know, talked down on because of this, but now the NFL does it one game and now it's the greatest game ever. Yeah. You know, and but hey, we talked about this on this show before, man. You know, I specifically pointed to the Super Bowl and all those yards and what happened. It basically came down to, you know, that one fumble they were able to cause and Philly was able to win. Mm-hmm. This is what the NFL wants because it's not just no defense. There was defense last night.
Yeah.
Maybe we can say it's not great defense, but it was timely defense. Right. You know, you got 3 defensive scores. You had 8 sacks. You had 7 turnovers. You know, you got the ball.
Let's not make the mistake. Let's not make the mistake here. I know people are quick to jump on something. This is definitely this age here or this generational type thing, and I don't want to sound like the old man, but people jump on something, man, and they refuse to let it go. Let's not be remiss here, okay? Maybe Kansas City, maybe not so much in the conversation, but other than the New Orleans Saints, who want to go face the Rams defense? Especially if they get a key back.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to affect them, you know, because, I mean, again, we saw Kirk Cousins go over there and line them up in L.A. for another 450.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Seattle line them up for 30 points, not once but twice, and rush for 270 yards on them last time.
Yeah.
So,
but the MVP, though, you know what I'm saying? The MVP conversation. Yeah. That boy Goff ain't no joke.
Yeah, but hey, man, like I said last night, you know, because it's kind of been like, oh, well, Gurley's there. Hey, man, Goff definitely supplanted himself in the conversation. You know, whether he's going to win or not, that's a different one, but a different conversation. But yeah, he definitely showed his worth and his mouth. And then again, as we'll always do right about this time, need to run a running theme here. Yeah. Where's Jeff Fisher?
Man, don't you go bringing no black cats out of the closet.
Oh, man, where's Jeff Fisher at? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This guy. He's like, I was so close to ruining one more quarterback.
I really hope, though, you know, speaking of ruining quarterbacks, I really hope, though, that Jameis can get out of Tampa and he can go find some place to be. I know you've mentioned to me, you know, he can go sit behind Phillip Rivers. You know, maybe maybe New Orleans doesn't want to pay, Teddy B, and they let him go.
Right.
They got Taysom Hill on the roster. Don't think he's going to be their QB, but he could be. We've seen some. Looks like a Madden character to me, but whatever.
Right.
He's just overgrown and sweaty.
I mean, bro, he's the
QB
the 2K
looks
slash, man.
He looks like a defensive end, but he's a QB.
He's like Cordell Stewart and Tim Tebow had a baby.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to go see this guy go get a chance, have somebody with some mettle, some intelligence, coach him up, and let him have what's going on with Jared Goff. Because I don't know if people forget, but I'll remind you, that kid was a bust in everybody's eyes. Oh, that was a bad pick.
Oh, yeah.
And here comes McVay. And all of a sudden now, where he's in the MVP conversation. Well, look at what quality coaching can do for you.
Imagine that.
Tell me who the quality coaching that Jameis has had. Just saying. I hope he gets out there and he has some games like Goff, and then I can see Tampa Bay fans and all the Jameis haters go, and I'm no big lover of Jameis. Hey, man, he's won a national championship. We seen what he could do at Florida State.
Yeah.
We've seen his mistakes, and we've seen his off the field mistakes. But let's be realistic. For as much as we make of this game and players have to play, coaches have to coach. And if you don't give somebody, that wherewithal to go out there and deliver for your franchise, what are we doing? We just drafting people every year? Hey, man.
Yeah.
Good luck to Jameis. Hope he's out of there. And hell of a game last night. That's the most important thing. Hell of a game, man.
Yeah, man. That was, like I said, man. Didn't as soon as the game was over, I was like, whew. Need to step outside and grab me a smoke.
Man, I was in here. I think I might have woke my kids up once or twice. Like, man, every time there was a turnover or there was a touchdown, yes.
Yeah, man, it was good stuff. It was good stuff.
Definitely good.
Oh man, well that's all the games for this week.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the next Monday night game. I feel bad for them. Who is it? Is it Houston? Is it Houston, Tennessee? Is that the next Monday night game?
Yeah, I think that's the plug.
Let me dial that up real quick.
Yeah, I'm pulling it now.
Yeah. Tennessee at Houston. All right, y'all go score 50 points each. Thanks.
Yeah, and that's a no watch if Mariota's not playing. I can tell y'all that right now.
Man, that's going to be tough.
If I say that, man, I mean, I hope he comes back. But I mean, Mariota was my guy coming out of college.
I know.
I'm just saying, hey, if he's not playing, just go ahead and know out there, Huddlers, I won't be watching.
Oh,
sorry.
Tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Tragic. I'll be there holding down the ship as usual because I watch football. Period. I don't care. I don't care how bad the game is. I'll watch it. It's a sickness. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sometimes I'm in there. Sometimes I'm in there just talking to myself. I don't care. I'll watch them all.
I like my sleep though. I mean,
Oh yeah, me too.
Give me a rerun. I don't want to watch that.
Man, I tell you what though. Talking about some of those young guys, quarterback, and also, hey, wasn't that running back rookie of the year last year as well? If I'm not mistaken. Hunt.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
let's talk about some of these offensive rookies. Let's check the temperature on second down for these offensive rookie of the year nominations.
Second down type stuff.
Yeah, I got the top. Let's go with the top 5 per Vegas. Bovada has it at the undrafted one. Philip Lindsay at 5, Sony Michel at 4. Nick Chubb at 3, Baker Mayfield at 2, Saquon Barkley at 1. Quickly, I'm going to touch on Sony Michel and Chubb real quick.
Yeah.
Michel, the injuries, I think, is going to kind of put him behind the 8 ball there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Chubb's completely out of it. However, him getting a late start with Carlos Hyde being in front of him, I don't know if there's going to be enough there, especially with Baker being on the same team as him. So it's kind of a dual-edged sword for Chubb there.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Lindsay's having a great year, man, especially to be undrafted. Even though they drafted, Royce from Oregon on that team, he's doing more and putting up numbers. But Saquon's in the driver's seat. I definitely think it's a two horse race. I think it's Saquon and I think it's Baker. I think it's a 2-horse race there between them two, and whoever finishes down the stretch stronger, I think is going to get it.
Between Saquon and who? Chubb?
No, Baker.
Or Baker?
Baker. Yeah, Baker.
I don't know. I don't disagree with what you're saying. Not by any stretch. I just when I look at Chubb and the fact that he's even considered like third in this particular, and look, no disrespect to Chubb, but there's other rookies out here shining. I mean, you mentioned Philip Lindsay, undrafted, and Sony Michel, who I wanted. We can go back to before the draft earlier this year, when the Buffalo Bills were trying to trade up to draft the QB. I think they wanted Darnold. I don't know who they wanted, Darnold or somebody else. Maybe
you're trying to trade down and get that offensive line.
I wanted their 2 first-round picks and then let them give us their second-round pick, and then they probably give us their first next year if they wanted to trade up that bad, because it was worth at least that, right? And then my joke was I wanted a Sony TV and a Minka fur coat, because I wanted us to get Minka Fitzpatrick with the pick and then grab Sony Michel, which they might have been. Minka might not have been available, but we could have probably picked up something else in between offensive line-wise to kind of help with the line, organization or reorganization in New York. Anyhow, back to Chubb. I think also part of Chubb's deal is remember, he was injured coming out of college, and it took him a while to come back. And I mean, he came back, and he came back strong. And Sony actually took over while he was out. So I think nothing against Chubb, I swear, nothing against him. But I think his story more, and his, coupled with the performance that he has kind of brought him to where they kind of have him positioned at for Rookie of the Year consideration. I mean, we can talk about Baker all you want. I mean, to me, not that Baker doesn't deserve a Rookie of the Year consideration, but that organization's in disarray. We don't know what Baker can do from what he can't do with what he has, because we don't even have solid coaching, let alone solid ownership at this time. GM, solid. Coach, not so sure. Ownership, not so sure. Okay? But we're going to get to see, hopefully they go back up the truck to Lincoln Riley, go grab him, and let's see what y'all want to talk about Big 12 games. Let's go see what Lincoln Riley does if they can grab him up for Cleveland. I think Saquon's the favorite, not because he's, he's the running back for my team, but I think he's made the most impact. Period. Unlike the last 4 to 5 years, people actually have to account for the running back in New York now.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I look at Baker, a team that didn't win anything, and in the midst of all the terrible coaching, has found a way to win 3 for that organization.
Valid point.
Saquon's definitely a weapon, not just running the ball, receiving it as well. We know if Baker wakes up on Sundays and feels dangerous, it could be a problem for your team. Ask the Falcons. Oh man, I mean, I'm with you. I got Saquon. I hope
he's got T-shirts being made for that.
I saw some on Facebook. I don't know if it was if it was technically his or not, but I saw in the head the 6 and the dangerous. Oh man. Yeah. But I definitely have Saquon ahead currently. Like I said, but I think it's just them two. The rest of them, great stories in their own rights for things that they've got going. Whether you're undrafted, you're back from injury, Sony Michel, what he's been able to do for the Patriots while healthy.
Yeah.
But I think it just comes down to Baker and Saquon, and whoever finishes the year strong, I think is going to be the one that gets it. Some trends.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is the only QB to win the award the last 5 years for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Back in 2016. Running backs have won the award 3 of the last 5 years. Then I found this one. I dialed up in the notes. I thought this was pretty interesting. The last time 5 QBs were drafted in the first round was 1999, and a running back won Offensive Rookie of the Year. His name, Edgerrin James.
Yeah.
Edge.
Yeah. Edge.
The last time a running back was selected with the top 2 picks, or selected at number 2, in the top 2, was 2006, and a quarterback won Offensive Rookie of the Year, Vince Young.
Ruined.
And since
ruined.
Yeah, let's go and cue the music. Where's Jeff Fisher?
Ruined.
Oh man, since 2006, only one running back drafted in the top 7 picks has won Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's still running strong as an old man now. AD.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson, 2007.
He's still good.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Yeah.
I will say another thing too, because we always talk about quarterbacks being heavy-handed in whether Super Bowl MVPs or MVP of the year. Here's the one spot that they're not as much. And we can talk about maybe first-year quarterbacks aren't as well adapted to play well early, but the breakdown of Rookie of the Year winners, quarterback and wide receiver tied at 9 each.
Yeah.
Running back 33. Crazy. Obviously, a tight end's never won it, but and for the Cleveland Browns out there, fans, they are one of the teams that's never had an Offensive of the Year, Rookie of the Year winner. Short list for those teams: Ravens, Browns, Texans, Jaguars, Chiefs. Oh no, Chiefs got to be on there, right? I thought Hunt won it last year. I had to dial that up. Who won Offensive Rookie of the last year? Thought it was Hunt.
Now you're making me go look.
Yeah,
I can't believe I didn't.
Well, I just off the top thought for whatever reason thought it was Hunt last year.
Yeah.
But obviously I'm wrong.
Kamara?
Was it Kamara?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. Then you might. Yeah, maybe it was Kamara.
Let me make sure. No. Wait, NFL rookie. That was defensive. Yeah, Kamara.
All right, fair enough. He edged out. I know it was going back. I know it was close between them two. For some reason, I was thinking they gave it to Hunt. It might have been Pepsi gave it to Hunt, but it wasn't the AP though. That might have been what it was.
Well, the AP, it was on the same. Well, I think maybe where you're kind of lost is, and I think like we discussed this before we even launched the podcast, was the rookie on both sides winning.
Right.
The award, because Marshawn won the defensive one. Lattimore won the defensive one.
Yeah.
And Kamara won the offensive one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it looks like overall Rookie of the Year. Pro Football Weekly has Kareem Hunt, though.
Yeah, that's why I said you got it's the official, but then you have like the Pepsi, then you have the NFL honors, the ESPN,
so many, and the sporting news, and
the sporting news, but the official they haven't had one. So Kansas City, so the list says Ravens, Browns, Texas, Jaguars, Chiefs, Jets, Eagles, Niners, Seahawks.
Yeah, because AP doesn't have a definitive. They just have a list of offensive and defensive.
Right.
So yeah, but
team with the most. At 5, Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Minnesota.
Yeah,
Minnesota. So yeah, I mean, there's some trends out there both ways that would definitely lead credence to it going to Barkley. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit of history playing some for Baker. I'll tell you what, though, if Chubb keeps breaking up 92-yard runs, we might have to change that conversation.
Yeah, I definitely was about to add, man. Like Chubb got injured, man, and honestly, they thought he was going in the 2017 draft.
Yeah.
Really interesting to see how that draft would have flipped if
he doesn't get injured. Yeah.
Right. And look, still no slouch. I mean, he came back, played his senior year, and he was splitting carries with Sony Michel and still got over 1,300 yards and 15 TDs.
Yeah, man.
Still.
Now,
they got swallowed up by the Cupcake School when they got
Roll Tide.
Hey, I'm not here to be a bearer of bad news. I'm just giving you the facts.
Neither here nor there.
25 yards on 18 carries is what Chubb had in that game. Just saying. Hey, man. Either way, though, if he had entered that draft, boy, whole draft flipped upside down.
Into again. Before we get to third down, I'll good way to transition into this, I believe. Mm-hmm. We were talking about the picks, and you got a hit, for rooting in them out there for trading off Mac.
Yeah.
And how we talk about, I mean, it's an exact science. It's a guesstimation at times. I mean, you look at this kid, Philip Lindsay, and what he's done, and he didn't get drafted. Now you go redraft right now. You think Lindsay makes it out of the top 4 rounds?
Imagine
top
if the
3.
NFL could have a redraft at week 6 instead of a trade deadline.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Flipping picks everywhere. Picks being handed out like Halloween candy.
And the crazy thing about that is if he doesn't play, up there for one of those schools in Colorado, maybe he's in a different situation. He's not in Denver.
The exposure's a little bit different.
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. Just to think that guy goes undrafted and see what he's doing on the field.
In that area, though.
Yeah, man.
In that area, though, if you're looking for your next defensive player, whether it be D-line or linebacker or corner, in that area out there, Washington and Washington State, they got plenty of dudes, top 5, top 10. If you're looking to go ahead and get them, and all them guys won't even go in the first round. There's plenty to be had. This is definitely a defensive draft.
Speaking of which, now that we got through with that, let's get to third down and talk about who is sitting where in the top 10 of the NFL draft for next year.
That third down, though.
Third down.
Yeah, third down. We got San Francisco 49ers at 1. Cardinals at 2.
Yeah.
Oakland, soon to be Vegas at 3. Jets at 4.
Yeah.
The New York Football Giants at 5. Buffalo Bills at 6. My what a year changes. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 7.
Who'll probably be flipping a coin
between the
Cardinals and the Raiders probably.
Jacksonville Jaguars, what a year changes, at 8.
Yeah.
The Browns at 9. And those guys that practice in the snow but play in the dome, the Lions at 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very, I'll tell you what, and let's play that game real quick. Let's say it holds. The San Francisco at number 1 is so intriguing to me. Yeah. For the simple fact of all the injuries that they had, especially the quarterback, the running back in different places. And you get all those guys back healthy, so you're in the envious position at 1, right?
Yeah.
You don't need a quarterback. Forget whether it's Nick Bosa, Ed Oliver. Forget that.
Quentin Williams.
It's time. Quentin Williams, yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget my cupcake boy.
Trade it.
Trade it down.
Trade it down.
Well, we already know, though, like we had this conversation, though, too. Like even when they were sitting at second, I think we kind of had this like a mini conversation about this weeks and weeks and weeks ago. Like even if, like when Garoppolo got hurt, like even if we know John Lynch is the trader, he's Trader John. Meaning this dude got on the phone and called and asked if Brady was available when they were getting Garoppolo.
Well, hey, they said Garoppolo wasn't. Hey, well, it's Brady. I ain't mad at him. If he doesn't do that, he probably doesn't end up with Garoppolo.
Yeah. Again, I'll remind everybody, like everybody's talking about the Giants could have the second pick. Hey, don't mess around. Anybody could want to come up and go grab that pick and give it away. And now, well, they went and got Justin Herbert.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because,
Will Grier.
We talked about them at 2, but with them being at 1, with the beckoning and calling of anyone that wants to come up and come get that pick, man, that changes the game, man. That wildly changes the game for what they're able to do, trading down and what they get into there. And then what's even crazy, right, is Arizona at 2. Well, hey, we can go ahead and get up out of there too, and y'all can come up here and get what other quarterback is left because we know it's going to be limited this year. It ain't going to be like last year. Yep. So if you need a quarterback, you need to come up with those 2 teams right there. You can come on up. The Raiders. I think Derek Carr's gone. I don't know what they're going to end up doing with him. I just, we see the breakdown of him during the win, if you will, right? The Raider way here, even in the win.
Yeah.
You got the arguments between him and Chucky and whatever the hell's going on over there. What do you do? What do you do?
Boy, this is tough stuff. And again, we've watched Gruden on television, Gruden's camp, the Gruden's corner, Gruden's ice cream shop, Gruden's pop-up shop.
Hey, Gruden on the Corona phone line that Tony Romo took over for him.
Right. So, look, you could go get a QB in Oakland. Will it be Justin Herbert? I hope not. I pray to Jesus we do not have that happen. You could go get Drew Lock,
Missouri,
out of Mizzou. You could go get Will Grier. You could do
West
a number
Virginia.
of different things. I mean, I've heard a lot of conversations over the recent weeks here and there lying around in different stories. We need pass rushers coming out of Gruden's mouth. I don't know. Does he try to get Quinnen Williams?
Yeah, I was going to say Quinnen Williams maybe.
I
don't know.
And hey,
it's such a wild card.
Shout out to Bama. Look, they got 4 guys in the top 10 that could go. Dude, there's 5 guys on the offensive line that could all start today for Bama. Could go, but they ain't gonna go in the first round because there's that much talent. You know what I mean? Not to mention the wide receiver core. Not to mention the 2 running backs that about to get their way out the door. Like, there's so much. But the Raiders, I'm really not sure how this pick goes. I don't know.
Man, I have no clue.
Hey, and let's not rule it out. You see how John secured them picks? You see how Gruden secured them picks? Let's not rule out somebody moving up and him swapping spots with somebody.
Yeah.
And
just get more picks for later for Vegas.
Or more picks up like a squirrel for the winner. You know what I mean? Don't rule it out. Picks. Yeah, don't rule it out.
Yeah, that's that's definitely a wild card, period. I mean, no matter what happens, I mean, this
is a wild card. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's just a wild card. Like, this might shift a little bit here and there between these top 4 picks, but wherever the Oakland is, I have no clue what's going on in Chuck's brain. Just will be intriguing. We fully expect it's going to be a new coach there, and depending on what they're looking to do, obviously they should be looking for some offensive weapons or help for Darnold.
Yeah. There's
not many at the top of the draft. A trade down situation maybe, or maybe you go secure you an offensive lineman. Maybe you go get that guy, Jonah Williams from Cupcake School at tackle. There's some possibilities there. I'm looking at the Giants at 5, and I don't think they're going to be in the top 5.
Yeah, I don't know if they will. And
they
keep on trying to run. We had a conversation.
Yeah,
we had a conversation the other day on the phone after the Dallas win, and we're aware of all the injuries. I didn't even want to have this conversation, but I'm gonna bring it up just because of what we're talking about. Because fans out there, huddlers, there's a lot of conversations that me and this gentleman have offline, y'all never hear. There's a lot of things where you'll see posts where we'll tag each other and go, remember this? Mm-hmm. If you pay attention to the thread in there, there's a lot that we talk about. There's a lot we talk about within our messenger. I think we need to maybe call the FBI, see if we can secure our channels, all the messages, all the phone lines and stuff. I don't want nobody getting in on our stuff. But anyhow, the conversation we had after Dallas had the win, I said to you, hey, buddy, the situation over there in Washington is very tenuous with all the injuries. They could very well slip right out of playoff contention, find themselves at the bottom. And then Philly, I mean, we can't count on them for nothing other than a soundbite,
right?
For the following week, and then the repeated media coverage of the defending Super Bowl champions. Hey, Dallas trending upwards. Now, I know the Giants just won 2 crappy games against, 2 crappy teams, and we're about to go run up on Philly.
Yeah.
Does Philly have the cojones to handle our running game? I mean, Evan Ingram making his way back, the dual tight end stuff that they're running, the fullback stuff that we're running. I mean, Odell's getting his catches. He's fluid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the right side of the offensive line seems to be shored up. Eli Manning went 17 for 18.
Efficient.
17 for 18 out of old Eli.
Man.
Bro, it could be we come down to the last week of the season to determine whether the Giants or the Cowboys go if they keep playing around out here in the NFC East.
And win the division to go in.
But that's neither here nor there. We'll tuck that conversation away in our pocket for another day later on during the season. We know we need a quarterback in New York. Okay, now some places have us going Justin Herbert. Most places have us going Justin Herbert or a QB, Will Grier, whoever, Locke, whoever. Okay, Greedy Williams, great cornerback out of LSU, but Greedy he takes a lot of risks because if the fans ever picked up, I watch a lot of college football too. I don't know if that's the pick. I'd rather take Deontay Thompson out of Bama than I would him. Heck, there's kids in Washington that, like Byron Murphy, that I'd pick before I take Greedy. But overall,
DBU though.
Yeah, but overall, if we're going for a pick, man, Justin Herbert, let me get the QB so I can start that reign now. I mean, we saved $17.5 million on the cap next year. Give us some maneuverability. Mm-hmm. You know, B.W. Webb's playing like a starter, even though that dude's, roamed around from team to team. I mean, drafted by the Cowboys.
Yep, I was about to say.
I mean, like that. We got time, and FYI, the New York Giants have 11 picks so far in this draft. With the way this defense or the picks for defense are lining themselves up as far as talent goes in this draft, we'll have the ability to go out there and shore up this offensive line like nothing. Like I said, Alabama's whole offensive line could start in the NFL right now. All them guys won't get drafted in the first round. They won't get drafted in the second round.
Right.
We'll have the ability to go ahead and make them moves to pick up the best offensive linemen in the country. Hello, Washington State. Hello, Alabama. There's a lot of talent out there that we could use to shore up this line and this team with the 11 picks that we currently have. Now, don't know what we're going to get as we move towards the offseason. Are we going to get something for Janoris Jenkins? Do we move on from Olivier Vernon? There's a lot. I mean, is Landon Collins still in limbo? I pray to God not.
Hey, we'll send you that second round pick as soon as you're ready.
Hey, don't
FYI.
Don't do it. Don't do
now,
it.
The team at 6, I think, is going to trend up this board, the Buffalo Bills.
That's a bad man. They got him projected to pick up, though. That's a bad man right there.
Yeah, that boy Rashawn Gary out of Michigan.
Shout out to Chase Winovich too. That's a bad man too.
Yeah, no doubt. But I think the Bills are going to go up the board a little bit. I don't think they're going to stay pat at 6. Like I said, I definitely think Giants are going to go down. Mm-hmm. You got a guy that took you to the playoffs last year. Mm-hmm. Then you get him a rookie quarterback. It's kind of not went the way that you expected.
Right.
I definitely will be intrigued to see what they do if the head coach is still, gets another year because it's a rookie quarterback and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they got to look at running back at some point. He's not going to be there forever. So, but maybe they go defense because of Kyle Williams, obviously.
So. Yeah. So.
Then Bucks, obviously being in the market for a quarterback, we think, with a new coach coming in.
Yeah. Now they got them in one of these polls here. They got him going to get Deontay Thompson out of Alabama. Surely they need to shore up their defense, but Fitzpatrick isn't their future. I mean, unless they're going to sign him to a deal, 2-year deal, 3-year deal. Obviously I believe in actions, not words.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, Jameis Winston ain't going to be there.
Right.
You go get a QB. Maybe it's Drew Lock. Maybe it's Will Grier.
Yeah. And maybe some changes in the offseason. They're bringing an Adam Gase type to repair or get him going.
Yeah, and maybe they move further up the board.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Jaguars 8. Right, we're circling quarterback big time, but maybe this is where Oakland wants to trade. Maybe they feel like going to go get Mr. Carr.
Jacksonville goes in,
So definitely has to be something offensively. I think defensively they're still okay.
Yeah.
Even though getting ready for Fowler, but I definitely think something offense.
Defensively okay?
No, look, it's a bad year. All right. It hasn't been bad games all the way around.
They're gassed.
Yeah, right. They're gassed. You got to do something on the other side of the ball. Browns, man, a lot to me for the Browns. The epitome of BPA.
Hey, let me roll it back real quick.
Okay.
Draft a QB or Teddy Bridgewater in Jacksonville? I think Teddy B fits right in.
I think if they can find, here's my thing. If they can find a quarterback that's ready to go, because that defense is ready to go, then they do that. Yeah. Whatever that veteran may be. Teddy B, I wouldn't like to see Winston there, honestly. No. I really want him to go sit somewhere for a year.
Yep. I agree.
I think Carr could be good there, especially with Tom C in the building.
And man, this Chargers thing actually works out a lot more the more I think about it too. Like, hey man, Phillip Rivers, gunslinger, wild card, ain't afraid to say what he wants to say. Definitely about winning. It's kind of the same personality as Jameis. Now,
I think it works, man.
The haters are gonna go ahead and chime in with all the off the field stuff. You know what I mean? Look, all of y'all out there hating on Jameis, and this ain't me trying to be his defender. There's a lot of players that y'all love out there in this league that have done a lot worse and don't get no kind of criticism. And I can start looking around the league. If I had a map of teams in front of me right now, I could start pointing my fingers on the board. AFC North.
No comment.
Yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. Don't play.
No ifs, ands, or buts. For sure.
Yeah.
But like I said, to me, the number one for me was, again, New Orleans was fine, but for me, it's always been, behind Phillip Rivers. And not only just because their gameplay, it's not exactly the same, but, to push the ball down the field and be willing, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
And the other thing, too, is, Phillip's a father of 7. He's done stuff with the community, things like that.
Yes.
It's just kind of the hey, look, here's how you be a franchise quarterback. Here, let me show you.
Definitely could put his arm around the kid.
Yeah, definitely. So,
and would understand him.
Right.
Would understand him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Phillip Rivers, this is not who you project him to be. You know what I mean? Like you said, the 7 kids, community man, dude wants to get home to his kids, and hey. What have we ever heard out of as much mouth as Phillip Rivers got, as much as he ain't ashamed to tell you who you are and cuss you out at a moment's notice? What have we ever heard about Phillip Rivers in these streets? Not a damn thing.
Nada. No ex-wide receivers going off and telling stories and stuff like that. Hey, for sure.
And this guy could have been the Giants QB.
Different story, different day.
Yes, sir.
Yep. But back to the Cleveland Browns at 9. Definitely BPA, man. Wherever they want to go and just add a piece. They have pieces on defense. They got pieces on offense. Literally, whatever they see fit to add there, with that whoever the new head coach is where they should be at. I see Ed Oliver up here in the little mock draft over here on CBS.com. I don't know if Ed's still there or not, but sure, why not add it to that front? And then the Detroit Lions. Whoever they pick should definitely be adjusted to the snow for practices. Is where I'm at there. Definitely needs to be ready to practice in the snow.
Brother,
not playing it.
Brother, when you get a hold of something.
We're talking about practice, not a game. Practice.
Yeah, not a scrimmage.
Hey, I don't think, look, man, through this cast, I've definitely, when I saw a chance to drop that, I could. But let me tell you what, I don't think Slate was too happy about it. And that's your, stone, that's cornerstone corner for you over there. Didn't seem too happy about that.
No.
So I mean, that's just something to check the temperature of that locker room and how things go about. I mean, and what happens there. But, he wasn't the only one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Slay or Ansah was like, remember we were talking about last week in the cast when we brought up this practicing in the snow. It was one of them that had said, if I was the coach, you start guys start talking about if I was the coach, that means they don't believe in you.
Yeah, and that's just a bad look. I mean, it's your first year and getting that kind of talk. I mean, dude had to sit there and prepare like a 900-word statement of why they decided to practice outside, so he didn't have to answer any questions about it in the press conference. I'm like, this is so stupid.
Hey, again, watch for the one and done over there. I know you. Most coaches, rookie coaches, get 2 years.
Yeah.
Watch for the one and done. And if ain't a one and done, these guys are 2 and 4 come next year at the trade deadline.
Right.
Nah, bro. Done.
Obviously for them, I don't know if they bring Ziggy back. He's on the franchise tag currently.
Right.
So I don't know if they bring him back. Maybe they go look for a guy like a Polite out of Florida.
Yeah.
Off the edge.
Yeah.
Especially with a defensive-minded coach.
Yep.
But yeah, I hope they practice in the snow again before the season's over, so I can talk about that some more.
Yeah, you got your boy Farrell out of Clemson too. He's another one. They can go get him. I mean, if they want. I mean, there's guys out here, man. Like again, defensive heavy draft. I mean, don't sleep. Hey, man, don't sleep on Josh Allen out of Kentucky. Yeah,
off the edge.
Yeah,
he fits that multiple defense that they like to play. I mean, dude, if you need to overturn your defense, it can be done in this draft. If you got the stock of picks,
been saying it.
Yeah, I mean, you can overturn your draft. I mean, your defense this draft.
Hey, they even got the Raiders projected to go get Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State. I mean, their defense is pretty. Their defense is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
But now they're to go address the Khalil Mack issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe if you'd have never traded
him, right? You wouldn't be in this issue, right?
What was it? What were we thinking there?
Oh man,
this first round pick is a different flavor than the other first round pick. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, but I'll be intrigued. Definitely, it takes me back to 2 years ago, and the Cowboys basically turned over their whole entire secondary.
Yeah.
And just drafted 2 cornerbacks and a free safety, and they're all 3 starting now for them.
Yeah.
It's this type of draft defensively that you can go get you 3, maybe 4 defensive starters and feel good about your life.
Yeah. Hey, they got the Titans going to get Landon Collins' brother in the projection. Landon Collins' brother, Gerald Willis out of Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
And he switched the positions a couple times too because, as these kids mature and their size take on a different shape, high school, first few years of college, productivity, trying to make sure you get burns or starts on, so you can showcase yourself. Gerald Willis has gone through a whole gamut of just making it into college ball, with the mother, Landon Collins and his mother, wanting him to go to LSU and wanting Landon to go to LSU.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that story, go dial that up. Gerald Willis's mom or Landon Collins' mom, Google that. But, Gerald Willis, if you keep him focused, which it seems like he is now, I mean, obviously they got him projected in the first round. Gerald Willis is going to be, as much as you think Landon Collins is a beast and not to be played with, hey, Gerald Willis, watch him now. They both got that same pedigree, bro. They like dogs, man.
Right.
Watch him now.
All right. Well, Now, typically on 4th Down Huddlers, we kind of get to the preview, but
4th down.
Yeah. But the holidays upon us.
Yeah, buddy. Look, we're going to do something a little bit different this week. So normally how we kind of run this is we do our weekly podcast, which will drop tomorrow, or we're recording tonight.
Wednesday.
So yeah, we'll drop tomorrow. And Wednesday, what is it? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday is the Knicks and 6 usually.
Thursday is the Knicks and 6. However, there is a tradition in this country whereby people take part in eating the bird, a.k.a. turkey. And it will be good because I'm cooking. Anyhow, what we're going to do a little bit different this week is we're going to have a podcast up tomorrow, bright and early in the morning. and you'll be able to get at that. And we're going to do a mega show, if you will, according to BJ, the mega show.
Yeah,
we're gonna, and Friday we normally do our preview show, but that's Black Friday, and people like to go and get deals. Ain't nobody worried about no podcast on Friday, especially Black Friday. So what we're gonna do is this the mega show where Knicks and Six and the Friday preview show are combined, and we'll do that tomorrow for you guys, so that we have the content covered for the week, number one. And number two, you don't have to worry about organizing your time to catch whatever, whenever.
Absolutely.
And we look forward to catching y'all after the holiday season, just like regular on the schedule next week with our regular weekly podcast. Knicks and Six will go back to its regular schedule, and so will the Friday preview show.
Yep.
And
absolutely. And these Turkey Day games are pretty good, though.
Yeah, man.
Pretty good.
And we'll be previewing those tomorrow on the Mega Show.
The Mega Show.
You want me to do the movie trailer announcer voice?
Yeah, you gotta do it.
The Mega Show. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, so that's kind of where we are right now, man. We appreciate everybody for listening, man. Definitely want to thank all the huddlers that have joined recently. We didn't get you all by name, but we'll post you every week in the group. This podcast has gone a little bit longer than we thought we would, but maybe a good thing we didn't do the preview show we didn't do the preview for the Thursday games.
Turn off the lights.
Yeah, turn off the light. Hit it with the gift beat. But yeah, definitely. Shout out to all the new huddlers that have joined recently, man. Shout out to Jermaine Adams Hollywood, bro. You grinding out there. Shout out to our admins, AD, Adrian Woolridge, and Garrett Wesley. I call him G-Dub. And everybody out there, man. Like, we can't thank you guys enough. Shout out to Joshua Parker, too. All the people that you've added to the group this week. Man, like, we can't thank you. Like, this is the one thing that Nix and I have discussed from the inception of this podcast to, the inception of the group itself. We grow this thing grassroots, man. We're not going to sit here and pay people for likes and buy fake, we're not going to buy fake followers and things like that. We're going to give you what we got. Hopefully that it's good enough for you. Even better if you want to share it with someone else. Mm-hmm. And like I said, man, we thank all of you for appreciating it. Special shout out to some VIP huddlers that have joined this week. Former Cowboy, former Giant Everson Walls, man, and former New York Football Giant Brandon Jacobs. Shout out to y'all, man. Welcome to the huddle.
Whatever, Brandon.
Hey, man.
I love you.
Hey, say whatever to Everson Walls. He played with the Cowboys, but he had to go to New York to win the Super Bowl, bro.
That's all right. Everson's okay with me.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll catch y'all tomorrow on the flip side, man. Deep in the huddle. We're out.
Peace.